Of course, Telkom is next. Very interesting story. Everybody knows them, even the old people who remember the days where the Department of Post and Telecommunications used to run the telephone network. And there used to be old grands who sat at the switchboard and said, "Nommer asseblief," and then connected you from the one to the other. These days are long gone now. We have mobile networks, fibre, all that kind of stuff. But Telkom is the rump. It remains the entity which has got a South African government involvement. Fixed line, fibre, mobile services as well. Remember, they used to call that ATAR for a while. I don't know why they shelved that name. Telkom Mobile. Market cap is 29.59 billion rands. Price earnings ratio dead low at 7.79. Dividend yield right up at 7.52%. Let's have a look at the share chart because that will make clear what's going on here. What you can see there is a bad slump from 2013, and then it came like down. It has recovered quite sharply in 2014, 2015 under CEO Sipho Maseko. But since then, it's kind of gotten a little bit less easy. Some of the low-hanging fruit, you could say, got picked.
Yeah. Look, I mean, like you said, for a long time, the story of Telkom has just been about landlines. But I can't remember the last time
there it is, yeah.
I went to a house and there was landline, but they do still exist. But what you have in Telkom is this existing network, because there are still people that have landlines.
Quite a nice fibre backbone and sort of microwave connections and installed network.
And also, if you think about business, if you're starting a business, we're still inclined to have a landline in a business, and for most people it will be who do you call? It's Telkom, even though there's other providers. So the nice thing about Telkom is they do still have that business, even though it's not where we're going in terms of the future. The other side of it is that they've learned lessons from companies like Kodak on how you can be dominant one day and shut down the next. And so they've gone into sort of the mobile space. And funny enough for me, they've been really the market disruptors and innovators in terms of data prices and going in there. Their Free Me campaign has been, it's just been exceptional for them, and you see it in the results, because their mobile business for the first time ever recorded
Customers
a profit.
Actually noticed.
You know, and a 20% profit in that. And it's forced the likes of Vodacom and MTN to really look at their pricing and saying, listen, we can't have the landline guy dictating what is happening in this market.
ADSL was a big seller for them. That's fixed copper lines to the house and so on, and they got them a little bit faster, and they're mostly fairly reliable. But fibre is coming, and so fibre is something they're in. Fibre to the home, fibre to businesses, but they're not the only player in that market. So that's potentially, both a strength and a weakness.
Yeah, and again, even in that, it's what we said about Vodacom, in that they already have the network pretty much. So it's just about upgrading that network. And they introduce their platform Lit, which is rear-rated. So if you're, Telkom.
They've obviously got an ad agency that's staffed by people who are 23 or something. They use words like lit.
Exactly, it is lit, So, and it's a great offering, because I mean, you can stream, what is it now? Netflix, Showmax, iTunes, Google Play, pretty much. Well, they say it, zero data. Okay, you're paying somewhere, but it's a great offering, and it's realizing that, look, that's where the future is. I already have friends who have cancelled their DSTV subscription, and they stream everything from music, movies, and that is just a market that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And it's about who comes in the earliest there, builds that scale, and it will be a price war in future.
Plus, they've got some quite well-established systems that do billing and that sort of thing, which work. So, I mean, one, I suppose, would be forced to concede that this company does have certain strategic advantages as a result of their installed base. What about the shareholding issue? Because some of the reason, perhaps, for the sell-off at the far right of that chart is because it is perceived that the government, the Treasury under Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba, is sitting with a situation where SAA needs capital injections. The end of September, they basically wrote a check from the National Revenue account to deal with the short-term problems. But it had been speculated in days leading up to that they were actually going to do an accelerated book build of the sale of the 40% stake in Telkom in order to raise the short-term money. It's possible that that is still coming. that this was merely a short-term maneuver to get the deadline away, but that they are indeed going to sell this stake because it's easily saleable, and that therefore there's an overhang, and therefore the share price is moving down, because when there's that overhang in the market, people are inclined to wait and see.
Yeah. Look, I mean, if the government does do that, you just have to throw in the towel, all right, and just be like, well, how can you do that? I mean, we have seen that SAA. I have to ask myself why SAA is still open today. And if you're willing to sell off Telkom shares, a company that, for me, there's still growth and there's still a great story there, just to finance this deal.
But wouldn't it be a net plus for Telkom if it were to happen? Because then that 42% stake would go into the private hands, and you would have that SOC, state-owned company thing at the end of the name would get dispensed, and then the company would be free to be, you know, a bit more commercial in its approach.
Look, I mean, definitely, because if you're a majority stakeholder is willing to do that, then you know what, you're actually better off. And the other side of that is exactly that. If Telkom wants to go private, well, that's what we've been calling for SAA, to say, look, it's not the business, it's how the business is being run. SAA can be profitable if it's run properly. So and many have said, put it in private hands. So
we got to run out of time here. So as far as Telkom is concerned, is this a buying opportunity under the circumstances?
It's definitely a buying opportunity, and
I think I agree.
I'm hot on
Telkom. Okay.